welcome to the James Cooley Show. I'm your host, Dr. James Cooley, and it's your life. It's what we always talking about, and you know, life can come to us in a lot of different type of ways. A lot of times, with our mindset, kind of throw us away from certain opportunities that we deserve and we can conquer and we can receive in life. So I got this absolutely fantastic guest on the day. She's been here, before, and I think that she is absolutely sensational. And she will be a feature on our weekly show, and I'm looking forward to all of that that's coming up. So I tell you what, before I even mention this young lady's name or anything like that, I have to always bring my executive producer and co-host, Dr. Michelle Denise Cooley. How are you doing today?
Can hear you. Can hear you. Can't hear you. Cannot hear you at all. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Cannot hear you at all. Can't see it. Move it over to this side, log off. Okay. So, still cannot hear you. Can't hear you still. I can't hear you. Because I could hear Dr. Cooley earlier. Until he
Yes.
switched over to you is when I couldn't hear anymore. And I can hear you, Dr. Cooley, but I couldn't hear Dr.
Yeah, sometimes we have
Michelle.
technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
but I can hear you. I can hear you very well, except her.
Oh yeah. She should be back. She had to log on and log back in. But
Okay.
just like I think Michelle already asked you to tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about you, and you've probably already done that. But you know what I'm excited about? I'm excited about all of the great things that you're doing. I'm talking about the great work that you work with. You're working with young ladies. You're working with some of everybody, and we all are working with people for the betterment. And just your voice, how you do things, and Margaret speaks. You know,
.com.
that's going to be a great addition to
Yeah.
everything that we're doing. And I just want to say it first to our viewers and our listeners out there, regardless of where you're watching this. It was on E360 Television, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. Dr. Dureke will be a part of our weekly show. She's going to come on. I think we identified Wednesday. And we're going to talk about, and I'm going to let her talk about that in a few minutes, variety of things. It's going to be called, that segment is going to, actually, the whole show for that day is going to be called Margaret Speaks. So, Margaret, can you tell our viewers and our listeners, I'm excited, tell them a little bit about some of the things that you're going to be talking about, some of the things that you're doing, and some of the things that you will be doing.
Right. So thank you so much, Doc, for having me. I think for such a time as this is for when God's people's power, authority, the can do's and can be's, all the could have, should haves are just coming home. And it is a time for those of us who understand what time it is. It's a time for fullness. It's a time for restoration. It's a time for action. It's not just talk. It's time to get rid of fear, because fear can hold you bondage for the rest of your life. I've been dealing with that with a whole lot of people. Said, I wish I were you. I'm praying. I'm praying. I say, who do you think sent me? Stop praying. Start doing. Because to do is to pray, y'all. You know, it's basically to the journey of like right now on TikTok, I'm doing something called the power of disappointment. And people are like, yeah, and people are communicating with me. They're like, yeah, I had to go through that. Thank you for confirming that. A lot of people are stuck on what cannot be done in their mind, not because God said that they cannot do it, because it's easy to do nothing. It is easy to complain, and that use that as a blanket, falsely, to wrap yourself and be miserably comfortable for the rest of your life. Or are you going to say, get away from me? What I went through is not who I am. It was just an experience. And a place of disappointment is a place where your appointment is stored. So if you remove the DIS, it becomes an appointment. And I tell people what you need to do, right, is just to take that lonely, long journey to that, what I call the forest of disappointment. In there, sit in it, cry, do whatever you got to do, and begin to hear the whispers of God about why you went through what you went through. How are you going to utilize that when you come back out? Are you going to call yourself names because you went through it? Or perhaps you think you're the only one who went through it. So what? If you're the only one, that means you're unique and special. That means get ready to be used for the Almighty God. Everything that has to do with it is your life. Take charge of it. And we're not saying this to dismiss what it is people go through. You're talking to someone who's been there and done that. You can't minister where you haven't bled. There is no way I can live and speak to people the way I do if I haven't been through it. I have lived a life of, people talk about 9 lives. I'm inventing 25 or 30 lives, and I own all of it. And I'm here to use my work from Margaret Speaks to WETATi Academy to show others how they can take their power back. In one of my books, How to Succeed Against All Odds, I talked about the journey to get your power back, because it's a journey. Show me where you laid your mat down. Show me where you laid your power down and gave up in life. And if we can take that painful journey to get to that point, and you're not going to do it alone because you need other people, I guarantee you, you're going to pick it up and you're going to live the best life that you don't even know that exists.
Wow. You know, I got a good friend of mine watching the show right now, Dr. Mike Mantel. You probably seen him on. And, you know, he always break down and explain everything about perspective of life, the perspective of people, the perspective of love. And in some of the things he said, you just kind of put that because disappointments are going to come. And if we sit back and just throw our hands up and quit every time disappointments are going to come, we're never going to meet our appointment. We're never going to do things. I'm talking about to move ahead. I believe that, you know, when you face with challenges and trials and tribulations, stop pitting yourself. Just sit back, shake it off, move forward. And that's why I'm so excited about you joining us once a week on Margaret Speaks, because you just gave them a little sample of that. And but it's so much more to come. You know, so.
And I think the important thing is that I don't want people to watch me and say, that was so nice. What are you going to do with what you just heard? Because in my book, How to Succeed Against All Odds, and I did state that the only 2 things that make a difference in life is action and prayer. A lot of people get stuck on prayer, right? As if God hasn't already given you the power with all. So you can pray from now till the cows come. You need to get up. You got to do something. You got to talk to somebody. Pick up the phone, no matter how heavy that phone is. Make that call. Be willing to get rejection. Be willing. Like for me, rejection now has become a blessing. It is up to you to change the narrative of what has been. And if you see what is happening now in my life, even those who discarded me, those who didn't think I was, they're now coming back and making small excuses. And I know that in business, you don't have a permanent enemy or friend, but a permanent interest. You don't let yourself get stuck with what they did. Because when the time comes, as long as you don't give up, I'm telling you, it's kind of hard. It's hard to put word to it. I am a living testimony that if you don't give up, not giving up doesn't mean just saying, okay, I'm not going to quit. And you're sitting there, you're not doing anything new. You're not stepping out, going where you have no business going. Talking to people you have no business talking. How is it going to happen? We will show them the way if they're interested.
We will show them the way that they're interested, but it's all about changing the mindset and having a positive mindset. Think of the positive things. I tell you what, Doc, what I do is I look at things, and all situations are not great situations, but I try to find the good and the positive of each of the situation that I might be in, because it's easy to quit. It's easy to run. It's easy to get away from those type of things. And I tell you what, we're going to take a station break, but when I get back, we're going to pick this up, and I tell you, you want to be part of this great conversation, regardless of whether you're watching on television, E360 TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, over 25 other live streaming networks. You want to be part of it, just go to the comments. Ask this great doc any questions that you might have, and I promise you,
we're ready.
We'll get you an answer. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show, and I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and with my fantastic guest, Doctor. Actually, let me get it right, Ambassador Dr. Dureke. And just like I told you, you probably should have grabbed about 7-8 bags of popcorn, because it's just like it's going to get movie like in here. Movie like meaning that the theme, like in a surround sound theater and all that energy just flowing out, and that's what this young lady, that's what she's all about. Hey, Dr. Dureke, now the title of today's show is Changing the Narrative, Creating Your Own Opportunities. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners why you came up with that title, and what is this going to do for them if they sit back and listen and take heed?
That's a great question, and it is so vitally important because it is tied to the current program we have this year. Of course, you know about WETATi Academy. WETATi stands for We Empower to Achieve the Impossible Academy. Academy is a place you learn. Every year, our program is based on the mission is to how to educate, empower low to moderate income youth or student on how to become financially independent from practical entrepreneurship. And the key word is practical, because anything that you keep classroom alone is not enough. You need that practical aspect to workforce development, soft skill particularly, because soft skills are the thing that will keep you in that job after you get your classroom education, to entrepreneurship and an idea pitch competition. But this year, our theme is creating the seat and the table. Because you see, to change the narrative of what was, you've got to do something new. I'm sure you heard that before. So creating a seat at the table means that there comes a time, for such a time as this, that we stop complaining about what they didn't give me, what they didn't give us, what they didn't give them. It means that it's time for us to come together to collaborate and partner as a people and begin to, by faith and work, create our own opportunities. So what do I mean by that? Oftentimes, I think in the olden days or some years ago, and these are great people who came before us who went through so much more than what we're going through today. And not to minimize the struggles of today for Black folks all over the world. But and the saying was, if they don't give you a seat at the table, you come with your folding chair, which is really great. But for now, we've come so far that at this point, we should be bold enough, courageous enough, confident enough to now say, forget that. That was then. Now, we should be responsible for ourselves to the extent that we should be the ones not just creating the seat. We need to also be the one creating the table, if not both, in order to change our financial mindset, think about generational wealth, how to build it. Because if we just keep saying, well, I just want to say, I just want me a job. I just came from speaking to so many college students just this past week. And some of them were saying, nobody told me I could think for myself. All my parents said, go get your degree and go get a job. We are doing them a disservice. That's why people like myself and Dr. Cooley at this age, we're still trying to succeed in business. Can you imagine if somebody taught us, helped us to shift that mindset when we were way younger? And if you look into the lives or the historical narrative of some of our counterparts of other races, most of them are already successful in business in their 20s. And it's not because they're smarter, but somebody in their family taught it that it was important to include them in what they're already doing, or sharing that mindset that they need to begin today and not tomorrow. And some parents say, just leave the kids, just go to school. They got up plenty of time and tide waits for no one. I'm saying to you and every one of us, and as I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself, if we don't begin to change our mindset narrative on how to begin to build wealth, begin to understand that we have the power to create our own. And the beauty about generational wealth or creating wealth, it's not tied to anything. It's not in anybody's particular DNA. The more they'll tell you is, oh, their grandfather started, somebody started it. What if it is your job to do that? You can start today to be the one. The beauty of building wealth is that you can think of anything, something others said, not for me, and you can turn it into money. You can turn it into something that you can use to bless other people and create something. Because a lot of people want to go and meet Michelle Obama or meet Barack Obama. But you see, in Africa, they would say, until a child washes his or her hand, they cannot eat and dine with the kings and queens. So do you want to be on the place where those people are present? Create something, be somebody. Not just, I mean, people don't understand there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Rich people have enough to pay their bills, or sometimes and miss a paycheck to pay for the fence they didn't really own, right? And they cannot afford to take a vacation for 3 months to a year and still have money flowing. Those are rich people, right? They think they're rich. They say, well, I want to be rich. No, heck no, you want to be wealthy. You know why? Wealthy people, no matter the season, and now during the winter time, they can just go to whatever sunny sides of the world and never worry about money. And their wealth will continue to leverage and compound. That's the mindset. And when you get the mindset and you put activity towards it, then it will grow. Don't tell your children the way to be, you be it. I was talking to a parent the other day, and he said to me, my son graduated college, he doesn't know what to do with himself. And I told him to go do business, and he's kind of getting annoyed at me. I said, yeah, he's right. How are you going to tell him from nowhere to go into business? You never introduce it to him just because business sounds great. It is a mindset that could have been kind of exposed to him way before, that as he's growing, entrepreneurship, creativity become a thing with him. That's why I'm saying, let's join hands together. If we failed ourselves, we cannot fail our children, because the time is now. And nobody can stop you from achieving your destiny, regardless of all the isms in this world. You're looking at somebody who has experienced all kinds of isms, nepotism, racism, favoritism. You don't want me to count them for you. But guess what? No human being on this face of the earth or the devil in hell that can stop me from getting to my destiny. It is a mindset. And because I decided, I know for a fact nobody can stop me except I stop myself. So are you listening to me now? Say, yeah, right. It's easy for you to say. If you know my story, you give me all the money in your bank account just to comfort me.
You hit on a lot of great things in the discussion, but one thing that stands out is a seat at the table, or being the table and bringing other people in, and they have to have a seat at the table.
Yeah,
because we become the table. And the only way that I believe that that can happen, first of all, self-confidence in yourself, understanding vision, understanding and focus, vision, understanding and focus, and being able to work toward certain goals and maintain and continue to do those things regardless of what other uphill battles that we might have. And so all of those things are important, especially the education portion of it. And then you are absolutely right. I wish somebody would have told us and pulled us to the side 30, 40 years ago and said that you can do this, you can do that, you can do all these things. And let me tell you or give you some guidance on what I think. Right now, the problem that we have, Doc, is we have a lot of people that they see, I mean, especially in our Black community.
yeah.
Everybody's stuck in this little bucket. We call it a crab bucket, right? And the minute that you start climbing up to the top and you get ready to get the top of the bucket and flip over and fall down, somebody like, oh no, She ain't gonna reach up and pull you back down.
It's a
You have to
poverty
throw it all.
mentality. You know, you have a PhD in your name. It's pull him down, pull her down. That's that PhD.
Pull him down.
Pull her down.
And the
But no,
only way,
this one right here.
but you know what I'm talking about with the
I
crab.
know what you're talking about for sure. That's why I said that.
And I'm talking about sooner or later we learn from these things. Like, okay,
Yeah.
they don't want us to get out because they want us to be here with them. So next time you climb up, 2-3 times, you get to the top this time, hands or claws gonna be reaching up to pull you down. You start wiggling your leg all different type of ways, continue and fall over. But I got a doctor friend of mine, Dr. Hall, mentioned that sometimes sometimes family members they get out the bucket, they're like, oh no, I'm going back in there. They jump right back in the bucket.
But can I share this with you though, right? It doesn't matter what others do. The power resides in you. If you know what you want, you can have it. Period. But you see, a lot of people don't want to go through, but they want to get through. It's not possible. You cannot get through without going through. Right? If that makes sense. But if we do not make a decision that we must love on each other as a Black people, I don't care what you sound like. I love my beautiful accent now. I make no apologies for who I am. Doesn't matter what you look like. If you have this skin, you're my brother and you're my sister. We're the only ones that do not look out for ourselves authentically and seriously. But you see, the other counterpart, they are languishing billions of dollars that belong to most of us. But we're here trying to eat at each other's flesh for no reason, because misery loves company. Because you see, because I know you and you know me, if both of us are miserable, then it cannot be that bad. But heck no, you will never find me in those corridors or communities. I refuse. Because where you place your head in, whatever is growing there is going to rub off on you. When you change, you see, people say if they don't beat you or whatever, you join them. I said no, I'm going to show them a new way home. I will never join what is bad just because I want to be liked by people. That means that really doesn't make any sense to me. Let me just break something down for a second, right? Anyone that is hearing the sound of my voice right now, I'm not sure the trajectory of your journey, where you are right now, where you're going, what your issues are. I want you to hear me loud and clear. It is not the end of your life, because anything you went through is something that's supposed to be a blessing if you allow it, you know how to. I had a call, somebody called me today, a very good friend of mine, going through some painful thing. And she said to me, I don't know how to share it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't believe it's my life. And I said to her, that is your appointment. You don't owe anybody anything. Those people you're afraid of, they're also going through. But because we're living to impress, because we're living so that other people can say this and that, because the best gift is a gift of authenticity. So if you're sitting there saying, I wanted to start my own business 10 years ago, I told another friend that, she said, well, maybe I'm trying to talk to you so we can do contract. I'm still praying on it. And I called her name. I said, no, stop praying, start doing. It's never too late. If you're determined in what it is that you want out of life, be willing to sit on it. I would have quit a long time ago, but quitters are losers. I'm going to be here for a very long time. Why if I quit, what's going to happen? Are you listening to me and you're the one that always quits when something gets hard? Or when your boss said that you need to do something this way and you want to flex? Who the heck are you to tell me? I'm your boss, so that's who the heck I am. So take it. If you don't like being subjected to work environment, create something for yourself and be your own boss. But arrogance and poverty cannot reside in the same place. If you want to create wealth, laziness, sleeping 3 o'clock in the morning is not an option. You don't want to sleep too prematurely. If you want it bad enough, you will make it happen. But you have to be willing to sacrifice, because there will be no change without sacrifice. There will be no change without change. And there is no change without challenge. If you understand these 3 principles and you're willing to become indefatigable, meaning tireless in pursuit of what you want out of life, with all the reasons, you're looking at somebody who has gone to solicit business for somebody. I got so insulted that I cried my way out of that place. And I was like, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to take it no more. I'm like, yeah, right. I ain't quitting. I finished crying, go into my car, wipe my tears, put on my little powder and stuff, say, Lord, praise you. I talk myself up, I go on to the next one. That is the I can do attitude you must have in life. If you don't have that, forget all these other things you're talking about, whether in a marital relationship, in a business relationship, or personal growth, or trying to lose weight. You do a little bit and say, I'm going to quit now because I've been doing this for 30 days and I just lost 1 pound. You quit, what's going to happen? You gain 200 pounds. Just think about it. That doesn't make no sense. But the only way you're going to see the fruit of your labor is to be consistently consistent, even when you don't feel like it, even when everybody say you're a fool, you don't want to quit. Remember, to succeed, at times, you have to be the fool.
Oh, yeah, hold on. We're going to take a station break. I don't want to, but I want to come back and pick this up. This is so interesting. And if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments on whichever platform you're watching it on. Ask this great doctor any questions that you like. And I promise we'll get you an answer. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back with more Dr. Dureke in the shortly.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
It's your life.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And I tell you, this is such a wonderful topic, actually, a super wonderful guest that we have on the show today, because as you can see, she's going to tell you how it is and tell you how it is for the good. And it's up to us to take whatever we are moping or whatever we feel insecure about and to change those things around. Become confident in yourself. Go out and do something. Don't sit back and wait on somebody to tell you, especially if you are feeling vulnerable, you're feeling like you're in a situation where you can't do anything just because you didn't even try. So that's the gist of this. And if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask this great doctor any question that you like, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. How you doing, Dr. Cooley?
We cannot hear you.
You still cannot hear, so I don't know why.
Like, go back, Felicia.
She need to reboot her system.
I think
But
it's from my end, it's not us.
hey, Doc, you
Like,
mentioned something.
yeah.
You mentioned something that I think we need to reemphasize. You mentioned the three main points that people need to do, and just stop, just sit back, saying they ain't gonna do anything. Can you go over those points again?
So I said they are what is it? Change, challenge, and sacrifice. In other words, if you want change, there must be change. There will be no change without change. There will be no change without challenge. There will be no change without sacrifice. So I hear people say, well, I I don't have education. I want to go back to school, but it's going to take me 4 years. And I'm thinking to myself, you're going to be here for 4 years. So what's the problem? It's going to take you 4 years. So what? Just the most important thing is getting started. Forget about the time it's going to take you. Have the determination that if you want to go back to school and you know the value is going to add to your life and your career, just get started and don't worry about how long it's going to take. People find negative ways to talk to themselves instead of positively. So now you want to get a job of a certain level or scale. It requires a college degree. So that means there must be change. It's not going to happen. You can think all about it, you can regurgitate it, you can dream about it, and wake up and sweat and brother there. You've got to start. How do you eat an elephant? It is one bite at a time. I don't care how huge that elephant may look like. If it's dead, don't try to bite it while it's still alive, bro. It's going to turn around and eat you, right? So literally and figuratively, all you need to do is to take a little bite at the tail. Once that happens, it's no longer whole. Think about that. If you look at life logistically in a very huge way, you're going to be discouraged. You think about the big and then you come back to the bottom. The power of starting now, no matter how small, it's so important. You start, register that school, go get registered. There's going to be a little bit of adjustment you have to do. Think about the end result in mind. What it is you want to achieve in that 4 years when you get it done. Get started. Get rid of the junk friends who are kind of usurping your whole life, telling you that you don't need it. Don't be afraid to let people who are not useful in your life go. They don't belong to you. Because there are three kinds of people you need in this world. The people of yesterday, the people of today, and the people of tomorrow. The people you need are your people of tomorrow. Then you go to the challenge part of it. The challenge now, maybe you have to work part-time. Think about the life. Fight for the future you want, not the one that you have right now. If you need to cut down on the expenses you have in order to sacrifice for 4 years so you can have a better future, I would do that. Are you going to sit and complain? Every year I see you, you still complain. I just had the conference 2 days. I told the guy, I said, sis, you're not going to waste my time. You're going to pray on what? They don't call me. Okay. I was black. When you meet me, you either love me or hate me. I'm okay. But what you're going to know is what I stand for. I don't want to be lukewarm in any position because I want you to know who I am and what I stand for. If you love me, to God be the glory. If you don't, oh, well, your loss and not mine. You got to know that the sacrifice, whether it's money, you got to do that. If you're not willing, because there'll be no change without change. So now you want this work, you want this money or whatever you want to go. So the change is got to drop not going to school because you need 4 years or 3 years, whatever you need. Then there got to be challenge. The challenge is now, oh my God, I'm going to have to study. I'm going to be up at night. Is it worth it? Ask yourself, what is worthy of having is worthy of going through? That pain, remember your pain will birth your purpose, right? And give you a destiny that you need to look forward to. Fight for the future you want, not the one that is already stinking, but you keep making excuses to hold on to it because guess what? Confused people do nothing. They just, okay, all right. And then they'll be rolling their eyes at the other person. Don't roll your eyes at me because I stay up at night doing my work because I want change and I'm going through the challenges of not sleeping 24 hours. People who sleep 25, they're crazy. There's nothing there. Then sacrifice, whether it's money or your relationship. You didn't go out as much as you used to before. Do you know what some of this, I'm not trying to speak in a racial way, some white folks or Asians and stuff in a very truthful way, they can go through an experience and they disappear for some time. They are building, they're creating. The next time you show up, they're now on Hollywood, they're the billionaires and stuff. But when we go through something, we disappear, we'll come back on like that. Who said we need to do that? Because we don't know how to bear our pain to make it into something positive. And I'm not minimizing what anybody's going through. If you know what I've gone through, somewhere along the line, I'll share my story. You're not going, then you would take me more seriously because it sounds like I'm here running there is no way I can have this conversation without experiential background. I am talking to you and sharing with you as someone who's been through so much in my life, but that's where my power came from. So if you notice that you're not growing, if you notice that you're not going where you need to go, it's not somebody's fault. And I'm not saying somebody didn't fail you. You're looking at somebody who has been failed by so many people. Okay?
Wow. You still can't hear you, Michelle. I don't know what the problem is, but I tell you, narrative, I'm talking mindset, narrative, all of that great stuff. Can a person change? Can they change their attitude? Can they change anything without changing their narrative?
It's not possible. It's not possible. I can tell you my own personal story because for many years, I kept expecting people to do something to help me. For many years, I kept blaming all the people that rightfully so. I know for a fact that those people have failed me. People that expected to be the one to rescue me when I was down, people that expected to be my number one fan, were the first to desert me, were the first to reject me. Then I went through that phase for a very long time, kept waiting, kept hoping, because I thought that is the way it should be, that I shouldn't do it alone. I was hoping that these people are going to come to my rescue at some point. But just like you said, just because your family or because your friend don't mean nothing, people are going to do them. But if you keep searching and keep doing your part and expecting those things, and because there'll be no disappointment without expectation, at a point, I got the realization that as much as these people could have done this and stuff, I had to change my mindset to say, hey girl, you need to wake up. It is your life. Take charge of it. Doesn't matter what those people did to you. Doesn't matter those people who didn't want to help you, even if they had the capacity to help you. You need to go back to the drawing board. As early as 2000 was when I went to my basement, I sat down and I went on my knees and cried, Lord, help me. I can't depend on none of these people. They are nowhere to be found. I thought that's the way it should be. Where do I go? All of a sudden, that's what I call my God. He says, write a book. He says, write a book.
You know, I see Dr. Cooley got a question for you. Can you see it, Dr. Dureke? As we know as women, entrepreneurs are not provided the funding or grants for the business compared to their male counterparts. How do women change the narrative when it comes to this example? I think she's talking about equal opportunity, equal
opportunity. The truth of the matter, as Sister Michelle, is that I don't know for as long as we're on earth if that will ever happen. Is a fight we will continue to fight, but because you can generate wealth, because there are a lot of women who are multi-millionaires, some are even billionaires, in spite of all these disparities. It is so unfortunate because when you watch television in today's age, there was a statistics I saw the other day about the number of women, not even just Black, just women in general, that are CEOs in one of the Fortune 500 companies in this day. And they're still being paid so much more less. Some of them are even more educated than the men, right? It is something that I don't think for as wickedness of man continues, and how some men still think that the women need to stay in the kitchen, where they're not even half a man to begin with. Don't let me go there with you, girl, because just because they put on pants, right? Then now you a man, you're going to talk down at a smart and intelligent woman who can be the one to guide you. That's why I love how you and your husband work, because you guys see the value of each other, and your husband will never disparage you. That in there, not too many men are like that. I'm blessed too with a husband like that. I am just me, because my husband is a modern man, right? He's not a caveman, right? I don't want to marry to a caveman, right? So the point is that you don't want that disparity to discourage you from making an attempt. If you, in my case, if you now know that you're more than, and you are capable beyond what anyone else is trying to dampen your spirit or your ability, it will be a source of inspiration for you to go ahead and accomplish. The good news is, if you now make it, despite the challenges or the whatever they throw in your path, they will not come home to roost when you least expect it. You know how nobody wants you until everybody wants you kind of situation, right? And the good news is because when you generate wealth in one area, it's easy to expand it beyond that. So I don't think to be an entrepreneur is a personal chase for everyone. To get the funding, that's another, we can have a conversation about that. The event we have coming up at University of Maryland College Park in June, we have several bankers from
Yeah, I want you to hold that thought because I want to talk about that event as soon as we get back from this break. And it's important that
But
our
women can change their narrative, not about that, but go ahead, take the break. They can change the narrative of what they're telling themselves to be the reason why not.
Wow, we're gonna take a station break, but we're gonna come back. We got more. We got more. If you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments and ask a question. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / the Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and my great guest here, Ambassador Dr. Margaret Dureke. I mean, she is bringing it. I mean, if you grab those 10 bags of popcorn, you probably wish you would have grabbed 5 more because we still got more, and we still going to continue to bring it. So Dr. Dureke, you got a lot of things going on, and you're an educator just like me, and you believe in reaching out and sowing back into our youth and our young adults and our communities as a whole. And you have all type of events, especially you go around to the colleges, talking to the students, talking to the faculty, talking to universities in general. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that and tell about this event that you got coming up in general?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So we our focus is 11 to 25-year-old middle school, high school, and collegiate. But those are the crucial moments, especially the ones in the high school, that we don't need to let them out into the world without giving them the proper tools that includes that experiential knowledge of what they need to know to expect. Because some graduate and go out into the world and try to get a job, they say, where's your experience? Experience? Nobody told me I needed to prepare for both. So we have our entrepreneurship classes, competition. We have the weekly classes that culminates into our June event. What is the June event? Is our practical entrepreneurship convention, the Dureke Idea Pitch competition, and that is virtual. Anyone in America can participate in it. Anyone in the world, if you have a laptop and stuff like that on electricity, can participate in that. It is virtual. If you go to our website, WETATiAcademy.org/convention, and that is WETATi academy.org/convention. You see all that information. Then we have our partners from the financial institutions and everyone that we need to coach these students on the ideas and show them how to take an idea from inception to implementation. Some have actually succeeded in using the information that we guided them with, taught them what we call the super wraparound services with the ideas to actually successfully get into the marketplace, have existing business right off of graduating from college. Nobody did that for me. I don't know where I would have been, but I have no regrets because of that, I'm able to help others along the way. And if you're older, it's never too late for a new beginning, unless you tell yourself that. Then the 17th, oh my God, OMG, the 17th, June the 17th is where everything is happening. That is our red carpet, what we call WETATi Wood red carpet. If you haven't looked at what we do and you haven't looked at our website, you don't even, just put it on your calendar right now. You've got to meet me there. I am a great dancer. I'm gonna be looking fabulous and fantabulous and everything else plus about it. It is our award scholarship and awards gala. That's the night that all the students who competed on the 10th of June will be awarded. That's when they're going to find out who won first place and third place and all that good stuff. They win money. We have leadership awards that we give to individuals locally, nationally, and internationally, those who are making a difference in the lives of others and experientially. And we have everything that you could want. But guess what? That same day from 9 to 12, it's a whole day event. There's so much food, right? That you're not going to believe. Is it the music? Is it the Afrobeat? Oh my God. We have the women series. And Michelle, you just talked about the women. We have a unique carve out of program called Women Empowered Seminar. We call it WEST. And it is a place where we have bankers, we have insurance companies, healthcare companies like Kaiser Permanente, like Truist Bank, Holton Bank, all these other banks and health insurance companies or healthcare companies that come together to have a conversation from women. Many of them are coming and nationally and internationally, locally at the compounds of University of Maryland College Park. It's a beautiful hall called the Ballroom. For you to change your narrative and create your own opportunity, you got to be in the room where it is happening. You got to be in the room. There will be a multi-millionaire. His name is Tim Adams, who built his wealth from nothing, but he believes. He always said, I wish I had a WETATi when I was coming up. You got to go to WETATi Academy.org/convention. You need to go take a look at it. If you have any question, email info@WETATi Academy.org. We'll be more than happy to work with you. Check us out also on social media, on LinkedIn, WETATi Academy, Margaret Speaks page, anywhere that have social media, we are there. I'm looking forward to connecting with so many of you. Don't you ever feel sorry for yourself. As long as you still have breath in you, you still got plenty to give and plenty to receive.
Wow. So I know it's going to be physical, but are you planning on doing it virtually as well in case people want to?
We're looking at that because when people pay a ticket to attend, we don't share it. So we're looking at, there's a company we're talking to now who's looking at doing the streaming version of it, where but people will be per view kind of thing, people who want to, but for less amount of money. So we're considering that, but there'll be those who may not be able to come because of distance. But you know what I tell folks? A lot of people, I don't know about the community that you know, when it's negative, people will fly, they get on the plane to go for a negative event. Maybe like somebody died, for example. I get it. But when it's something positive, they make all these excuses. I just try don't get it. I just do not get it. It's kind of weird to me. But for some reason, when something is negative, people tend to kind of like, and that's why like I lost my brother in December. I didn't share it in the social media because we did what we had to do. Most people would embrace that, make it big, and just show up from nowhere. I don't need your pity. I need your compassion. I need your empathy to be able to help where it really matters. So because I've seen the way the mindset of people are, I don't fit into that. Because like, oh, I'm so sorry. What's that going to do for me? When there's something like this event we have coming up, some of them are going to go hide under the tree, but they want to jump all over the place because I know what I had to do to honor my brother and stuff like that. I'm just telling you the way I live, and I'm not saying that I have all the answer. but it's the way I go about it.
Wow. We almost out of time, but we certainly got to get that information in there so they can reach out and get all your information, all your contact information, actually. And I want everybody to pay attention. You starting April the 5th, somewhere right around that time frame. Dr. Dureke will be a host on my show once a week. Once a week. It's called Margaret Speaks. And if you heard anything right now, you already know what's going to be happening every single week. You're gonna get an education whether you want it or not. I mean, you're gonna get an education whether you want it or not, because she's gonna bring it. And so I tell you, Doc, I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to doing all that I can, potentially even attending that event. We'll have to see what the schedule looked like at that time.
Hey.
And I want to see you out there.
My sister. If you dance, oh my God, you're not gonna want to leave that space. The food, the people, the environment, the culture, there's so much love. Oh my God, you've got to be there. You cannot change your narrative without changing your environment.
And I like that. And I tell you what, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I look forward to having you on the show once a week, or maybe even more. But we're going to continue bringing. I like to thank I like to thank my beautiful wife and executive producer of the show, Dr. Michelle Cooley. Most importantly, I like to thank our viewers and our listeners for taking the time to tune in to the Dr. James Cooley Show. It's your life, Monday through Friday, same time, same place. I want everybody to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Cooley.